And we are live. Hello everyone. Oh, I realize I made a mistake. Let me fix that right away. My avatar is missing. Ah. It should appear in a few seconds. There we go. Hello everyone, this is the Void Executive and welcome to the stream. How is everyone doing? Hope this Monday has been pretty okay. I know it's a little bit late, but happy Easter everyone. At least to those who celebrate it. Before we start with today's stream, I'll have a little explaining to do, but it's nothing too serious. It's the reason why I haven't done the stream on Saturday as I usually do. That's because I have been invited by an old friend of mine to eat at his place and celebrate Easter. I usually did plan on like leaving early for the stream, but the lunch went on and it was too late for me to go back in time and do a stream with a meaningful length. So I thought let's instead postpone the stream. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I felt like I needed to say it because when I gave the announcement, some people were a little bit worried. They were like, oh, I hope everything is alright. Want to tell you guys that yes, everything is alright. It was nothing serious. It's merely me being too busy with other things for that occasion specifically. So today we will continue and maybe finish, I don't know, we will see, the drawing of our character over here. Now that I think about it, I still haven't found a name for our little lady over here, but I think we will eventually. Not sure if we will manage to. That's nice. Hope we have a good time. Yeah, it was very fun, and I ate a shit ton of food. So like for the next day, I didn't eat anything basically. So let me get in position and then we can start. So I was saying, I don't have a name yet for this character. I think that we will need to find one eventually. But until then, we will continue working on the drawing. I don't know if we manage to finish it today. There's still a few things that need some work, but there isn't much left, to be completely honest. Last time we worked on the dress, mainly speaking. Now there is still like this part to complete, which is what I will do right now, and then we'll work on the rest and see how it goes. For this one I will do something. I will separate the legs and then place the layer of the tentacles behind it. Like so. Because now we can go ahead and First, delete the parts we don't need. Which is... There we go. Much better. So, how's everyone doing? Did you have some nice Easter celebrations? Did you eat a lot? At least here where I live, we always tend to do great feasts on certain occasions. One of which is Easter. The other one is usually Christmas. Christmas and Easter are the ones in which we make these very big, very bountiful feasts. The ones that you will have leftovers for a few days after. Kinda like Thanksgiving for the Americans. Went to a lake with my family. Very nice. Yeah, it's now at least here it's starting to get pretty hot, which is weird because last week it was still kinda cold, but now suddenly in a few days it's starting to get really hot to the point where I need to change my clothing and wardrobe. Which is always, at least in this period, usually March and April have this sort of crazy weather where on some days it's too hot and some days it's too cold, so you never know what exactly to wear. So it can get it comes down to luck on whether you will dress appropriately for the day or not. Okay, I was thinking as we are reaching the finish line for this drawing, I am not sure on the next drawing if I should make, for example, another pose with this same character, or instead switch over to the other character. Not sure. Which option would you guys prefer? I don't mind with either one. On one hand, working more on this character will allow us to explore it a little bit more, since this is a character that's more underdeveloped. And on the other hand, by drawing the other character, there will be some more variety on the drawings already. That doesn't mean that if we do a second drawing of this one, we will not be doing the other one, but it's just a matter of the order in which we will draw things. After I'm done with this section, I think I will work on these tentacles, because I'm still unsure on what to do with them in terms of colors. Well, you might say, what do you mean colors? They are mostly black. Yes, but more like, should I make them pitch black with some highlights as if they are kinda wet, or maybe give them this opaque type of texture. I guess we will see which one will work best. And then once we will manage to have some artwork for both this person and the other, we will try to place them together in the same panel and see how they look, how they will look together, and maybe do some changes wherever necessary. Okay. Let's try to remove these ugly horizontal lines, which are a bit distracting. Since I'm here, let me double check if everything is working correctly before I do the same mistake I did a few streams ago. Yeah, everything seems to be working. The live YouTube chat in the YouTube website is still broken. I have no idea why, but it shouldn't be a problem for us because I can still see the chat from OBS. Because then right now, as you can see, the edges here are very loose and very messy. We will need to do the same thing that we did over here and give it a proper shape to simulate the different folds of this dress. Let's try a little bit right now already and see how it may look. Basically, a general rule of thumb that I use is concave where there is shadows and convex when in the areas where there is some light. Maybe let's start with a different brush. Then of course we will need to work on the tentacles to have a better connection with the rest of the drawing. There we go. I need to remember myself to ask the person who we talked to, like in the latest stream, the one which is already more knowledgeable in terms of shorts and things like that, because I still want to ask him a couple of questions. Mainly still about the YouTube shorts. How often should I make one? Because right now I am posting like 2 shorts per week, and the ones that I am making are fairly quick to make. But if I ever decide to do something different, they may take some more time to do. Let's see over here. Yeah, then we'll definitely need to clean some things up after this. Let me change this one over here. Okay. Let me work a little bit on these tentacles over here, and then on this dress. Yeah, I'd say it looks, I think it looks quite nice. Let me just clean this area. Add everything else once again. Okay. Now, this complicated part is pretty much complete in terms of details, but I still want to add some more shadows later, but first I want to work on this top area a little bit more. Maybe add some decorations where needed. Let's see. I think the face is pretty much done. Maybe I can try and change the expression a little bit. Okay, let me do something first. There you go. Now you can see full screen because the following interface you are going to see is only viewable on full screen. I use the liquify tool, which is very useful if you want to change the proportions of a specific drawing. In this case, I want to change the position of some of the eyebrows. Okay, and maybe the making these very small adjustments, but that can really bring the drawing to life, I would say. Let me check if everything is working. Yeah, it should be. Good. Okay, let's see before and after. Yeah, the expression is much more similar to the one of the sketches, and I fixed this part of the head. Now it's much more. It's following the shape of the head in the sketches much more faithfully. Now maybe what I need to do is fix this area over here. And maybe just change a little bit. Yeah. Something like this. Now let me... There we go. I almost forgot in the... I was thinking of adding some type of jewelry to this character. Nothing too crazy, but something to emphasize her status as someone coming from nobility. But before we do that, I think I want to still work on more on this area. Let me see if I can find some reference that will work on our favor. So this is the reference I am using for the pose. But as you can see here, the back over here is different. So we'll need to find some some other example. I am not finding any, so I think we will check our trusty Pinterest. Let me see if it works. Okay, let's see. I don't know. 1800s dresses aesthetic. Back. Backside. Okay. We have some examples to take inspiration from. Yeah, most of them have it covered, but I think we can add some light decoration. Okay, let's try it. I think I will add along the rim something like this, like white, but very small. Oops. We'll grab this same color and then work our way. Let's see if I do instead. Right, and then over here, I'm not sure if we make it on this side or on the other side. I think on this side. There we go. Yeah, I think already like this, even if it's not, it doesn't have any shading yet, I think it already looks quite nice. Now it's only a matter of adding shading and see how it will look like. There we go. I'm thinking again about the name of this particular one. I have the name of the other sister because I already, it's a more established character, so to speak. And the name of the other was, or is rather, Dorothy. I want to give a similar name to this one. Something that you would expect someone with that name to be like a kind and gentle soul, but instead they are beautiful, but at the same time as deadly as a praying mantis. Yeah, that's the kind of vibes I want to give these characters. Something beautiful yet deadly at the same time. Now in here I am noticing that the same color I used for these shadows or shadow areas, they seem too light in comparison, so I will grab a slightly darker color to try and counterbalance. And try to give some shapes. Okay. And then maybe going back to the main layer, trying to work on that. Maybe add some shadow over here. Let's see how it looks. Maybe darken this part even more. And here I will try to emulate some form of folds and shading. Okay. will work on this area as well. Let me simply flip the image for now. I think this area needs some changes, and I think over here I will add some decorations similar to what you see over here. So at the end, the decoration over here is similar to what's present here. Okay. Let me apply a quick liquify filter just to change one thing. This area a little bit darker, and maybe add a bit of just a little line over here to indicate the connection. Not too bad, I would say. Still looks a little bit too flat. Maybe I need to round things up a little bit. Let's see how it is. Yeah, it's already looking a bit better. I am having a lot of fun doing this method of basically almost exclusively paint everything, mostly using only one brush or two brushes at the maximum. I highly recommend you try it, because it will allow you to gain knowledge of the brush you are using, but most importantly, it will force you to train your hand instead of using a specific brush as a crutch of some sort. Okay. Let's see before and after. I can still do better, I think. And maybe darken this area. Now let me try and apply the decorations. Let's try to do something over here. Let me see if I can find a good reference for it. I mean, we can go a little bit I wouldn't say a little bit wild, but we can get creative. I think it's best if I find a reference first. Let's see. Because some of the designs are very intricate. Not sure, it's not convincing enough. At least this area over here. Because let me see. It's also giving a very weird shape from the way it is shaded. So let me see if I can fix that. Maybe this area not so dark. Same for this part over here. And maybe instead of having the decorations, we maybe could add some buttons or something. Let me see. Let me see some fitting outfits. Actually, let me use one of the images I have found. Images. And then visual matches. Yeah, there is some light in some of these. There is some kind of very small pattern. Now let me try and recreate it. It is very, very subtle. Like almost like stains, but not really. I think this may be... My brain tells me to use photo bashing, but my heart tells me no. I want to paint it, but I want to find a good pattern for it. Let's try this one. Yeah, something like so. Something very, very subtle but present. Okay. And then maybe something in the middle. No, maybe not. Maybe make the brush even smaller and yeah, something like that. I think it gives off those types of vibes. Of course, we will need to replicate something similar over here, but we need to be a bit careful not to overdo it. Okay. Yeah, it gives those type. Yeah, I think it works quite well. Because they work independently of the shading that I place underneath. Yeah, pretty satisfied with how this result went. Now, let's work a bit more with these tentacles. Now, yeah, I want to see how well they work if I try to recreate this sort of effect. Maybe add more tendrils at the end? Let's see. So have something like so. Kind of in line with the theme that the artist I'm taking inspiration from uses. We'll change some of the shapes as well. Maybe add more tentacles. I don't know. I'm just trying things out for the moment. Because I want to give her that those weird, almost creepy vibes. Let me see. Let's try something with the arm as well. Have something kind of gross sticking out, right? Something that looks like, you know, those types of parasites that hide into insects like praying mantis, that look like what they are called. Let me show you what I mean. Mantis parasite. Horsehair worms. Basically something like this. Have these sort of gross tentacles coming out. Yeah, I think that will give those kind of gross vibes, I would say. So we will have the main tentacles, which are the bigger ones, and then we'll have these minor tendrils like appendages that will give those sort of icky vibes. But for these bigger tentacles we need to make them more spindly, I think. Maybe change the shape of this one. Let's see how well this one looks. May as well just do this and then gradually remove. And then have maybe different layers for different tentacles. This one, maybe over here. Okay. There we go. Right now I am trying to organize the tentacles so that we have some of them overlapping one another and things like that. Hello, welcome to the stream. We are continuing our character over here. We've done most of the work on the dress, and now we are decorating and working a bit more on the tentacles. Elena says hi to you. Hello. Hi Elena, and I hope you will like the stream, if you are watching, of course. This is what I've been working on in the past few streams. The first drawing of the main project that we are facing. One of the two main characters. Let's go with the extra ones and see where we can add some minor extra appendages. Here we need to be a little bit careful because we want to avoid having tangents like these, where one line merges into the other. There we go. I don't like the shape of this shape in particular, so let me remove it and try to do it again. Okay. Let's make this part smaller. And then just a few more going over the dress. Some smaller ones. Too similar with this one, so let's let's try again. Okay, a little bit better. It also looks like the tentacles have, you know, when you have split hair at the very tip, like they show in those commercials. Those are the kind of vibes I mean, it kind of reminds me of those. Maybe here I've added a little bit too much. Let me reduce a little bit of those. I'm also trying to make it so these tentacles sort of point towards a direction. So already the direction is kind of already given by the form of the dress, but if you notice we have where is it? Yeah, these sort of shape in the overall in their overall composition, and these tentacles, they all more or less point upwards towards the main focus, which is the face. Okay. Then of course we will need to shade the different tentacles properly. Okay. Kind of. Okay. Let's see compared to how it was at the start of the stream. I mean, not a very big difference, of course, because we are mainly adding details and the very last touches, but we would see the amount of progress once we end the stream. For now, we'll save the document and be right back in a few minutes. Grab some water, things like that. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. There we go. Now, still not too satisfied with the tentacles. I think there's still a long way to go. Mostly I want to make it so every tentacle has split hair. So we will mostly work on that for now. Okay. Yeah, let's make this one even thinner. Maybe I should make this one a little bit. I'm trying to make it so that the shape of this one is a bit different from this one over here. Maybe I need to make it shorter. Not too short, however. Maybe change the shape so it's not too similar to this one. Actually, let me just do something like this. And then okay, and then behind I think we will add bigger one. Now for now let's make all of these of one color, just so I can differentiate between the different ones. Oops. There we go. this one we will... There we go. I think this can be a good start. However, let me change this one. There we go. Okay, I think we can already start to add some shading to these tentacles. Now, this light color is only a temporary placement, because ideally they all are like pitch black. However, okay. Let's make this one this same color as well. Now I want to see if this kind of effect will work or not. So let's go to, I don't know, let's try these ones for example. Highlights, circles, and from here, using maybe the same white as present over here. Now we add the highlights. Let's see how well they work. Yeah, something like so. Nothing too crazy. Then we will also need to adjust it, for example, by softening the edges. Does it work nice? Still not too sure, but we are experimenting, so we also need to decide how big or small to make these highlights. I think I will need to check some references and see how to shade glossy objects, which they are essentially the objects with this kind of shiny surfaces. Also depends on where I want the light to hit. And maybe remove them with a different brush that doesn't have any texture, since I want these tentacles to essentially have no texture at all, like be very, very smooth and shiny. Hmm. Let's check with the values. Okay. I think I need to work a little bit more on the main area over here. Yeah, let's try and do this attempt. Okay. Just doing one attempt over here. I will grab a very large brush. And then increase a little bit the lighting in this one. And do the same with the highlight, with the shadows, sorry. Maybe do something similar for the legs as well. This part is still very catches your attention. Let's go back here, multiply. Now I think it's a bit, yeah, a little bit too dark. Okay. Hmm. Let's check in black and white. Hmm. Okay. I'd say it has more contrast. I think I like it. But I think we still need to fix some things over here. But we are reaching ever closer to the final result, I would say. I kinda like the effect these tentacles have, and they stick out very nicely. But there is still a long way to go. So for now I will scrap that and work like those changes that I've made right here. They will be done at the very end. Right now I think I still need to do some changes. Mainly polish the area of the tentacles, add some shadows where needed, fix the edges, maybe work a little bit more on the legs, that sort of thing. Remove areas and imperfections as we find them. Okay. Let's go first over here. Let's add, I want to add a shadow over here to show that there is some contact, although I need to check how well to implement. watching the reference, but I'm not sure how well it may work. Let's see. And then maybe not sure how well this may work. Because it doesn't work very well with what's underneath here. So what I think will make sense is let me try something extreme. Let me try then. Okay. Okay. And then. Okay. Here we will need to add a shadow by default, but here I want to give some sort of folds from holding on the fabric over here. but it's not that easy. Let's flip the image just in case. Because I do realize how this area looks off. So maybe it would make sense to have it just change like so. And then okay. Slightly better. Okay, and then over here maybe something like this. And then the decorations, if I can find them. Like so. Better, I would say. Let's see before and after. Yeah, I think like this it's much better, I would say. this area. Okay. And then this area. Yeah, I think this version works best. Now the problem still stands. We need to make some sort of shading over here. We also need to make the shading of the tentacles. Let me try and do it right now. Okay. Multiply. I think we'll go simply with the a simple brush like this one. Try the same on this one here. Though I need to think, because the light comes directly from the front, so we need to be mindful about where to place our shadows. So maybe instead over here. then of course the more distant we decide to make it, the farther away it is from the dress. I don't know, I think only these two will necessitate a shadow like this. I could theoretically just copy and paste and make an exact match, but I want to instead try to replicate it, replicate the same shape by drawing it. So it gives those small imperfections that make the drawing feel more natural, if that makes sense. Like a painting, in order to be working, doesn't need to have the absolutely most realistic lighting ever. Let's see quick before and after. Yeah, I think the changes and the overall quality has very much improved, but I think I still need to work more on the tentacles, especially in this area. But I'm liking the progress that we are making. Let's remove this one. I think I still need to work on the shape for this one in particular. Okay. We'll try to make the edges as smooth as possible. Let me save just in case. Okay, let me do something. There we go. I think more future drawings that we'll do about this character in particular is do maybe more variations about the tentacles as well. So maybe have some of them being decorated or colored, maybe not completely black. We will see. Because, let me show. Because some references from the artist have this sort of tentacles, or even something like this, and I think it's something worth exploring. I mean, most of it is something like that, but let's say that this artist does a lot of variation, and I think it's worth exploring different ideas and see which ones stick. Maybe we could make it so that every variation is canon. There is nothing stopping us from deciding that the supernatural elements are not set in stone, but we will see how it goes. Okay. I think I need to add more spindliness to this other side as well. Because I'm noticing how this side is visually different from this side, so I think we need to work on this one as well. Okay. And maybe have something like maybe like so. Now to orderly, I think. Even this area. Okay. And maybe... yeah. There we go. I think the bottom part is almost ready in terms of elements. Then in terms of polishing there will be enough time. I think we will be able to finish this piece next stream. Let's try and flip the image once more. Okay. Let's polish this tentacle arm. Okay. Let's do the highlights for this one as well. I think there is one section that needs some changes. Let me make this part smaller. Let me just remove this part altogether and then there we go. Almost to the finish line. I think it's still missing that extra touch. These are the shadows of the tentacles. Let's do a copy just in case. Let me see if I can do something about this area. Maybe add some more details. I will call it buttons, even though they are not necessarily buttons. Will do. Okay. There we go. And then let's see, maybe with a lighter tone. One second. There we go. Slowly but surely. Okay, and then okay, this one goes over. Okay. Maybe change the color a little bit. And maybe for the buttons, let's try something like so. These are very secondary stuff. They are just details, but I think they are worth making. Okay. And then yeah, we need to darken this area a little bit so that the laces are more visible. Still, I think I want to add this type of white areas, maybe for these type of decorations. Let's see how well they will look. These ones over here, if I make them like so, yeah, much better. Okay. Now there is a little bit of contrast. Okay. I think for now we can stop here. Let me check something real quick. Okay, yeah. Let's flip the image once again. Okay, I think for today we can stop here. This drawing is nearing its completion, I would say. It's only a matter of time. I think by the next stream, not the one on Wednesday, but the one on Friday. So by Friday, I think we will manage to complete this first concept, this first drawing of our character. I think this can be a good initial concept for this character over here. We will probably finish it in the next stream, and after that I think we will either do another variation of this one or work on the other character. And maybe even do some smaller concepts, maybe not illustrated with as much detail as this one, but do some more concept art with some more sketches that explore different ideas. But for now, this is how we started today, and this is how we ended into the stream. I think the difference is very noticeable. I always like keeping these sort of screenshots from each end of the stream, so we can see the progress. We started with something as simple as this one, and then slowly we have been building up, like so. This, like this, and then like this. Next stream in which we'll draw this one, we will most likely finish it. Maybe do something about the background, but nothing too serious. Just to frame our simple character. So, very satisfying stream. Good way to start the week after the missed stream that we didn't have on Saturday. So we are starting with a big stream today, with a lot of progress with our character, which is nearing its completion. Next time we will instead pick up the other drawing about the character lost into an unknown world, and see where this brings us. But for today, really satisfied with how this is turning out. Really, yeah. I hope you guys are liking it as much as I do. So, having said that, our next meeting will be in 2 days, on Wednesday, as per usual. We will continue to go by the scheduled programming. Of course, if there is any notifications or any news, you will be notified both in the community tab of the YouTube channel and on the Discord server, as I have a couple of days ago. Having said that, this has been the Void Executive, and I will see you in the next company meeting. Have a good night, everyone.